So I googled it. Turns out you're not allowed a polar bear in the UK.
Why not?
No, sorry.
Well, why? I was going to teach it biology, you know?
I know, but it's for the best. Polar bears don't really like biology.
Why not? What's
It's
why
a
biology?
bit of an issue.
Yeah?
They're a bit sensitive to climate change.
Ah, maybe a bit too close to home.
Too close to home, that's
yeah.
it.
So home's melting and they're all going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
But we can still teach them about polar bears.
We can, even if they're not here.
Yeah. So last time we started with producers.
Yeah, producers, things that create energy from the sun or from nothing. This time we're going to talk all about consumers, things that eat the producers. But as we're at A-level, they have a better name for it. It is autotrophs, the producers, and heterotrophs for the consumers.
So if you focus on the heterotrophs, you're going to have primary, secondary and tertiary consumers within a food chain.
We are. Each one of these is going to eat the one above. So the primary will eat the producer, secondary will eat the primary, and the tertiary will eat the rest.
Absolutely. So we need something that eats a
Producer.
flower.
Yeah, a plant or something. We eat flowers.
Rabbits.
Rabbitsy. I'm thinking of something bigger.
They're boring.
Yeah.
Zebras?
Zebras are great. Yeah. You can cross the zebra crossings and roads, and they're pretty much half polar bear.
Yeah, they're also half black bear, and I like them too.
I like those too. So what eat zebras? Lions eat zebras.
Yep, so that would be your secondary. The secondary is a carnivore that eats the herbivore.
Yeah, those are GCSE words you should be familiar with. Now, often the tertiary consumer will be something that doesn't get eaten by anything.
The tertiary is a carnivore that eats the carnivore.
Yeah.
And well, in Africa we have lions. There you go.
And that's it. But recently there was a discovery made, wasn't there?
We discovered an egg, didn't we?
We did, and that egg had the egg of the last dinosaur.
And T-Rexes, I'm pretty sure
they could take out a lion.
they could take out a lion. Something
So
like that.
T-Rexes will eat the lion. That's what will happen there. Sorry, lion. No one's going to take out a T-Rex.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So we've got zebra, lions, T-Rex. Tertiary is a carnivore that eats the carnivore, secondary is the carnivore that eats the herbivore, and the primary is always the herbivore.
Often you call tertiary the top consumer because nothing eats that.
Yep. And there you go.
There you go. There's a few more things. Omnivore, another GCSE word, but what is it when?
Well, it's when you're a mixture of a carnivore and a herbivore. You can eat both meat and plants. So humans, most humans are an example of that.
They are, having the cake and eating it too.
Yeah. Or having sprouts with your chicken. Roast chicken, not like KFC.
No. That'd be deeply wrong. I don't really like sprouts.
I don't really like sprouts anyway, so...
Never mind. There's a few more things that aren't herbivores or carnivores.
Detritivores.
And they eat detritus. What's detritus way?
Well, it's the dead organic material. So if there's decaying wood from a tree, you're going to get wood lice and stuff like that. They're going to nest in it. They're going to eat it.
Yeah, they're going to eat dead things. So.
There you go. Stuff like earwigs may be an example. Stuff like that. If a person dies and a worm comes to eat them, maggots might eat parts inside. Flies come. Then you've got decomposers.
And these are the things that are much smaller, even, especially to a T-Rex, like bacteria and fungi, which will eat the dead thing, which we'll learn a lot about much later.
Yeah, so they're basically the same, but they're fungi and bacteria rather than little animals.
Microbiology as opposed to bigger things. So now I've spoken about what eats what. How efficient is the eating?
Well, not very.
Not very.
But here's why. That's the important part.
I think that is the important part.
So rub these things off and I'm going to draw up a red leaf.
I like red leaves. We spoke a lot about what happens in leaves last time.
Yeah.
And that's photosynthesis.
And you know that a photon of light, or lots of photons of light, but if we say a photon of light hits the leaf, it's going to supply the energy.
Yeah, by energy that the zebra's going to get, but it doesn't get all of it.
It doesn't. 5% of the light is just reflected straight off the leaf. It just bounces off, does nothing to the leaf whatsoever.
Yeah. Another 5% goes straight through the leaf, which is again not particularly helpful.
About 50% is used by the leaf, but not as energy. It's used.
Just heats up the leaf.
Yeah, so heat.
And the last 40% is all that remains, and that's what the plant uses for photosynthesis. So I think we should zoom in now.
I think we should. So you'll notice we've already lost 60% of the energy from the sun, and we're just at the first stage.
So what I'm drawing now is a very large...
That's a magnifying glass, by the way.
Yeah, palisade mesophyll cell thing.
Yeah, so that's on the leaf. In that is a chloroplast.
Here's
That's
chloroplast.
what this 40% is going to hit, the chlorophyll and stuff.
So in the chloroplast, that is where photosynthesis happens. So some energy, as we explained in the last video, is used in this.
Yes.
So energy is lost here.
This is fairly efficient relative to the 40% that's going in. Not much is lost in
Only a
photosynthesis.
small amount.
Photosynthesis is supposed to make energy.
Yeah. Now, this is the energy that it makes will then be used by the plant. That's got a name, isn't it?
Has indeed. This energy that's going to be made is GPP, gross. What was it? Primary productivity.
Yeah.
Productivity.
So it uses it for two things. One of the things isn't very helpful for the zebra.
No, it goes to the actual cells, things such as the mitochondria, which I think is what you're drawing.
It is, yeah.
Well,
It's
I
not a
recognise
very
it.
beautiful one, but it's. And that's the site of respiration.
Yeah, so that requires energy.
Energy is lost there.
We'll call it, respiration is more energy lost, but it's actually used by the cell. But not 100% of the energy made by photosynthesis goes straight to the cell. Some of it's stored in the plant.
And used to make more plant, which is useful for the zebra eating.
And that's the net primary productivity, NPP. So the zebra uses this. This is all the zebra gets when it eats a plant. So 40% is already lost, and then some of that is used for the plant or lost. So the zebra's already not looking too good.
It's not looking too good, but...
Firstly, we have a little equation. It's a tiny equation, not mathematical.
And occasionally they'll give you all these things, and they'll say your GPP is this number, your R is this number, what is your NPP?
Yeah, and it's just simply that minus R, because all the energy that's coming here is all the energy to do with these three things, so you can link them together nicely with this little
equation. So that
equation.
one will equal those two, basically.
And there you go. So that's if you're told these two things, how much is the zebra going to get? It's going to get that.
Yeah. So now, what does the lion get?
Well, for this, I think we should draw ourselves a little food web chain diagram.
I think we should, So there's a food web where you sort of see what eats what. It's from GCSE, and also one more diagram from GCSE, which is sort of like a trophic thing.
Yeah.
And and that's got a name, isn't it?
Well, a trophic diagram.
Trophic diagram thing. And a trophic position is a position which you are in a food chain, primary, secondary, tertiary, whatever.
Yep. And right at the bottom, lots of it, you're going to have your producer. So this is going to be the special grass in Africa in our case.
Or some bamboo or some big leaves. The thing that's eaten by a primary consumer.
Yeah.
But it won't get all the energy, as we've just shown.
Yep. So there's minimal energy there. So the thing above it can't just eat one blade of grass and be fine.
Yeah, because it needs much more than that. So there's far less of them, and the energy they receive is far less, and that's what the box signifies.
Yeah, because it's all about areas. This has to be small. If it was the same size, that means there's exactly the same number of zebras as there are blades of grass.
Or at least the same amount of energy they receive.
Yeah. So this is zebras or your primary consumer.
So then your lion would get even less energy, because the zebras use it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons they give it out by heat. What else do they do? They do a lot.
They do, which is then eaten by detritivores. We'll put them at the side.
Yeah, the detritivores are going to eat.
Everything.
And when these things die as well.
Yeah, they're going to eat a little bit of everything.
Any organic material waste, which could be the full dead zebra, chances are the lion will get it if it died near the lion, unless it died being poorly, which natural instincts would be the detritivores.
Yeah, and so the lion is a much smaller box, and then a poor T-Rex doesn't get barely anything, does it?
Barely does at all. It's got to eat so many lions, it's really hard to beat T-Rex.
I think our T-Rex would take everything though. I think T-Rex would just eat
You're
whatever it sees.
Yeah, this would be a lot more complicated if you draw it properly, because the T-Rex would probably eat the zebras, the giraffes, anything.
Yeah, and then
whatever
lions probably eat more than just zebras, and I think the only thing that eats, there's more than one thing that each produces as well.
You've got gazelles and stuff,
Then other,
buffalo, whatever.
Other things. But this bit is really a revision of GCSE, just a few new words and more reasoning.
Each of these is a trophic level, which is why I've called it the trophic diagram.
Yep, and what number is what level they are. I'll be asked to say why,
So,
and how, if it's going to be what level.
what on earth would eat a T-Rex?
A very brave man.
I wonder who that could be.
I reckon it's Wilfred.